Would you like to be a 1% student, one of the top in your class at school, and also learn how to study like a genius, without distractions, without stress, and without wasting time? In this video, I'm going to reveal Ayanokoji's formula, a student who seems normal but can master any subject, solve any problem, and overcome any challenge with ease. How does he do it? What habits does he have? That's what we're about to find out. Let's get started. Ayanokoji's formula is based on a concept the author Cal Newport calls deep work in his book of the same name. Deep work is the kind of work that requires concentration, attention, and effort, and that produces high-quality and valuable results. Deep work is the opposite of shallow work, which is done distractedly, interrupted, and with little demand, producing mediocre and irrelevant results. Newport claims that deep work is a skill that is increasingly rare and in demand in today's world, where most people are constantly distracted by social media, email, phone, and other sources of information. This is why people who can do deep work have a great competitive advantage and can succeed in any field. Ayanokoji is a master of deep work. He knows how to focus on what's important, ignore what's irrelevant, and make the most of his time and energy. He has 4 habits that allow him to work deeply and study like a genius. First habit, plan your day in advance. Nothing is random. He has a schedule where he writes down his activities, goals, and priorities. He knows what he has to do, when he has to do it, and how to do it. He organizes his day so that he can dedicate several uninterrupted hours to studying without distractions. He also sets aside time to rest, exercise, and socialize, but always with moderation and without losing sight of his main objective. To apply this habit, I recommend that every night before going to bed, you make a list of the tasks you need to do the next day. Arrange them in order of importance and urgency, assign an estimated time for each task, and respect that time. Start with the most important and difficult tasks, leaving the easier and less important ones for the end. Avoid procrastinating or postponing tasks you don't like or find more difficult. Also, plan some breaks between tasks to relax your mind and recharge your energy. Don't forget to include activities that entertain and make you happy, like watching a series, playing video games, or hanging out with friends. But do this in moderation and only after you've completed your obligations. Second habit, eliminate distractions. Ayanokoji doesn't use social media, doesn't check email, doesn't answer the phone, and doesn't let himself be swayed by curiosity. He knows that these things only steal his time and attention and don't bring him anything of value. He isolates himself from noise and irrelevant information and focuses on what really matters, his studies. He creates an environment conducive to deep work, where he has everything he needs at his fingertips and where no one and nothing can bother him. To apply this habit, I recommend that when you go to study, turn off or silence your phone, computer, and any other device that could distract you. Close all tabs, apps, and programs that you're not using for your study. Avoid accessing social media, email, YouTube, or any other web pages that are not related to your studies. If you need to research something on the internet, do it quickly and specifically without getting sidetracked by other links or ads. Choose a quiet, comfortable, and well-lit place to study where there are no noises, people, or things that could interrupt or distract you. Third habit, apply effective study techniques. Ayanokoji doesn't limit himself to reading, memorizing, or repeating. He uses study methods that allow him to understand, analyze, and apply what he learns. He uses techniques like active learning, spaced repetition, self-testing, interleaved learning, and the generation effect. These techniques help him better retain information, recall it more easily, and apply it in real situations. He also exposes himself to diverse sources of information, like books, articles, videos, podcasts, and courses, to broaden his knowledge and perspective. To apply this habit, I recommend that when studying, don't just passively read or listen to the information, but process it actively. Summarize, explain, compare, and exemplify it. Make concept maps, diagrams, or graphs to help visualize and organize the information. Also, review the information frequently, but not immediately. Space out the reviews over time. For example, the next day, the week, the month, and the quarter. This way, you will avoid forgetting what you learned and consolidate it into your long-term memory. Additionally, evaluate yourself by asking questions, doing exercises, solving problems, or taking quizzes to check your knowledge and understanding, and identify your strengths and weaknesses. Also, interleave your study. Alternate between different topics, subjects, or types of tasks to avoid boredom, fatigue, and confusion, and to improve your ability to transfer and apply what you learn. Finally, generate your own knowledge. Create something new from what you learn, like an essay, a project, a video, a podcast, or a course, to demonstrate your mastery and creativity and share your value with others. Fourth habit, seek challenge and continuous improvement. Ayanokoji is not satisfied with what he knows or what he can do. He always seeks to learn more, do more, and be more. He constantly tests himself, faces difficult problems, sets ambitious goals, and pushes himself to the limit. He's not afraid of failure, but sees it as an opportunity to learn and make a difference. He doesn't compete with others, but with himself, striving to improve every day and reach his maximum potential. To apply this habit, I recommend that when you study, don't settle for the minimum or the basics. Seek to go beyond, deepen, expand, and enrich your knowledge. Look for additional sources of information like books, articles, videos, podcasts, or courses that complement, contrast, or expand on what you learned in class. Also, seek problems, exercises, or projects that challenge you, make you think, push you out of your comfort zone, and force you to apply what you know in a creative and original way. Additionally, set clear and specific goals, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, that motivate, guide, and allow you to assess your progress. Finally, don't get discouraged or give up in the face of difficulties, mistakes, or failures. Use them as opportunities to learn, improve, and grow. Remember that success is not something that is achieved overnight, but is the result of a process of constant, disciplined, and focused work. These are the 4 habits that make Ayanokoji a top 1% student, a student who studies like a genius. If you want to be like him, I recommend that you start applying these habits in your life and make them part of your routine. You'll see how your academic performance improves, how your confidence increases, and how your success gets closer. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. I invite you to subscribe and leave a comment, and remember that the art of mastery is in your hands.